We need to clear space. I let it buzz, slow and persistent, vibrating across the nightstand like something alive. When I finally pressed it to my ear, there was no greeting, only screaming. My sister-in-law's voice, sharp and frantic. My husband's in the background, strangled words I couldn't decipher. And then, a crash. I didn't say my name. I didn't ask what was wrong, because 3 weeks earlier, I had already heard enough. "We need to clear space," she had declared, folding my sweaters into boxes as if she owned them. "Mom and Dad are moving in next weekend." I remember her casual cruelty, the way she looked at me as if I were clutter, as if my presence was an inconvenience, disposable. My husband said nothing. He looked like a ghost. I had smiled. I had given them the apartment without protest. "You want it? Take it." That was the last time we spoke face to face. So when the call came, when their voices broke through the night, I only listened, silent. And for the first time in years, I felt something close to peace. It had started months earlier. Late nights, whispered conversations, the smell of perfume on his shirt that wasn't mine. Little things, insignificant, until they weren't. I told myself not to look too closely, not to connect the patterns. People make mistakes, people get tired. But then I found the texts, her words to him, his replies to her. Not just flirtation, not just weakness, plans, a life being drawn without me in it. His sister. That truth sat like broken glass in my throat. I couldn't swallow it, couldn't spit it out. The betrayal wasn't just physical, it was structural. They had built a home together on the bones of mine, and he had let her dictate my erasure, packing my belongings into boxes while he stood there, silent, a coward with his hands shoved deep in his pockets. I didn't rage, I didn't cry, I only smiled. Take it. But inside, a clock had started ticking. I moved out quietly, rented a small flat on the other side of town, told no one where. And then I began. Phone records, bank statements. I followed the trail with the patience of a surgeon. No detail too small. Every number dialed, every transfer made, every lie disguised as routine. She had been siphoning money. Not much, not enough to raise alarms, but consistent. And he had been covering it. His accounts, his passwords, his silence. Together, they were careful, but I was meticulous. I kept my distance. No confrontations. I greeted him politely when he called to ask about paperwork, utilities, the meaningless mechanics of separation. He thought I was harmless, defeated. He thought wrong. Because while they built their fragile empire inside my apartment, I documented everything. Screenshots, recordings, evidence compiled with a precision that frightened even me. And then, just as I was ready to move, something fell into my lap. A letter, addressed to him, misdelivered to my new place, from the bank. A loan application with both their names, my husband and his sister. Planning ownership, planning permanence. My smile returned, sharp as a blade. The day I chose was ordinary. Tuesday afternoon, gray sky, air heavy with the promise of rain. I walked back into that apartment, unannounced. They were there, her voice filling the kitchen, his laugh brittle and forced. I didn't greet them. I didn't sit down. I simply placed a folder on the table. Inside, everything. Their messages, their withdrawals, the loan documents, my neat notes at the margins. He went pale first. She followed, eyes darting, mouth parting, searching for a defense that wouldn't come. I stayed still. Finally, I asked the question I already knew the answer to. How long? No one spoke. The silence was delicious. I told them what I had done, calmly. The evidence had already been sent to his employer. Fraud, financial misconduct, conflict of interest. His position was gone before he realized he was losing it. Their loan application had been flagged, frozen, destroyed. Their plans reduced to ash. And the lease? Terminated. The landlord was a friend of mine. I had signed the withdrawal papers that morning. This space, I said, looking around the apartment that no longer felt like mine, is empty again. Her face cracked. His hands trembled. I did not raise my voice. I did not threaten. I simply gathered the folder, tucked it back beneath my arm, and turned toward the door. They called after me. Pleas, curses, the frantic noise of people who had just realized the floor beneath them was gone. I never looked back. That night, I lay in my new bed, the city quiet outside the window. I thought of the boxes she had packed, my sweaters, my books, my photographs, stacked like garbage to make room for her parents. All of it gone now. But I felt no loss. They had cleared space, yes, not for family, not for a new beginning, but for the silence that comes after ruin. And I had given it to them freely. The last words I heard on the phone that night still echo. Their screams, their panic, the sound of a world collapsing. It was the sweetest lullaby I had ever known. I closed my eyes and slept without dreams.